All right. 3 hours from now is training on procrastination. If you want the exercises, the books, the guides for free, we're going to pin up there, david@dmeltzer.com. Join my text community, 949-298-2905. Thank you, Matt, Justin, Colleen, Jake. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Team David Meltzer. Let's pin up there, David Meltzer, david@dmeltzer.com. And 949-298-2905. Welcome, everybody. Let's take some Q&A. Give me some questions. We have training on procrastination. It's the stepping stone to quitting. I'm going to teach you all about what we do, why we do it, and how to fix it. Let's make sure that happens. Here we go. Where's Team David Meltzer up there? Let's get these things posted. Let's get some questions going. Everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. Jesse, Catherine, thank you for joining us. Team David Meltzer, right on top of it. Here we go. I'm going to pin that there. If you miss training, which is at 11 a.m. Pacific time today, that's 2 p.m. Eastern time. If you miss training, all you got to do is check it out on Spotify. Every training is it's a special featured playlist, and go check it out there on Spotify. It's featured on Entrepreneur and every platform. But please, if you miss it, we know it's Friday. We know it's a holiday week coming up. We know that you are quarantined in most of the country. So go ahead, watch the replays, learn something. Life is about lessons. We're going to keep on learning them, and they will result in pain if you don't learn them. Suffering is the process of finding those lessons in that pain. What kind of questions do you not like? I like every question. I don't like all my answers to the questions. I do my best. Hey, Lou, good to see you as well. But I like all questions because it makes me think. It makes me clear the connection between the great source of light, love, and lessons that I have, and I am progressing towards and closer to the truth, my higher frequency, my peace. Neutral is my highest frequency, where I'm most connected to all of that. What's the most efficient way for entrepreneurs to connect with you? David@dmeltzer.com. David@dmeltzer.com. Most efficient way. You can also join my text community, 949-298-2905. I will send you exercises, guides, books, trainings for free. I'll sign my book. I'll ship it out, pay for shipping for you. Where's everyone tuning in from? That's what Jake wants to know. He's a world traveler virtually. How do you balance between excited for something yet letting it go? Biggest paradox. Yes, the biggest paradox is to be persistent and patient at the same time, excited for something and allowing it to happen. I think if you understand the three laws, then you can be and enjoy the consistent every day, persistent without quit, pursuit of your own potential. What do I mean by that? Number one, the law of gravity. Once you have faith in the law of gravity that everything is pulling down towards you, that helps. Two, the law of Goya. Get off your ass. You need to consistently every day, persistently without quit. Enjoy the pursuit. You need to pursue. Pursuit of happiness doesn't exist. Happiness is the pursuit. When you're pursuing, you are happy. When we're pursuing, there's nothing but happiness and purity. And then finally, allowance comes from having faith in the laws of expansion, the laws of attraction. That's right. That what we put out there will send a frequency. It's a beacon to what we want. There's a great ordering system of the sky, and the conscious, subconscious, and unconscious continuum allows us to speak to the big Amazon in the sky that brings down things that other people can't even imagine. That's what is absolutely the way. Tracy, yes, happiness is the way. There is no way to happiness. You nailed it. Here we go. Have you experienced moments of complete self-doubt, and how do you work through it? Yes, and you nailed the word moments. I used to spend years in self-doubt, then months, then weeks, then days, then hours, then minutes, now moments. And that practice is how I do it. Practicing ending fear. Identify it, and then stop. Don't try to resist it. Don't try to go around it, under it. The key to get through the wall is simply to stop, drop down to neutral, your highest potential, your highest frequency, and the answer will come in the right direction. You'll be able to align it to the inventory of your values that you took, your personal experiential giving and receiving values. That's exactly what you want to do. Let's keep them coming here. I don't know what that means. Sorry, I'm playing around here. All right, let's go. Keep the questions coming. We'll keep them going. Here we go. What qualities do you look for in a business partner? I look for people that strengths are my weaknesses. I look for alignment of personal, experiential giving and receiving values. I look for gratitude. I look for forgiveness. I look for accountability and an inspired person, someone who has a desire that they must be what they can be. That's what I look for. It's so amazing. So many people want to partner with me. And I heard a great line from Joanne today. She said, that's a great idea. I wish it came from somebody else. And there's several different reasons. When I'm investing, I see that when people want to partner with me. So many people have so many great ideas. There's a million great ideas, but it takes a certain type of people with those values, with situational knowledge, experience, capabilities of certain skills, certain knowledge of what and who, and of course that desire that they must be what they can be. So a lot of times I run into people with great ideas and I'm thinking, God, I wish it came from somebody else, because that idea ain't ever happening if it comes from you. Alrighty. Do you have internships? Yes. Email me, david@dmelcher.com. If you'd like a remote virtual internship, david@dmelcher.com. We'd love to get you involved in Team David Meltzer. David@dmelcher.com if you're interested in an internship. Thank you for that reminder. Here we go. What lessons as a parent do you use as a leader in your business? A lot of them. And they're amalgamated together in activity I get paid for, activity I don't get paid for. But the lessons, show me your friends, show me your future, be kind to your future self, do good deeds, study, paying attention to intention. All those lessons I use at home and at my business or activity I get paid for. They're people, right? This is human nature that I teach. We're just effectuating getting what you want. I was talking about the difference in words. Manifestation just means getting what you want. So many people meditation just means a practice of being quiet. So don't let those words scare you. You should have a practice of finding your higher frequency, of being in neutral, a practice of being quiet. And you should also have a practice of getting what you want. You should make it a practice to get what you want. What age did you turn your life around, and what causes the change? My life has never been turned around. I am happy where I'm at. I'm at the right place in the perfect time, but I'm angling to something better, knowing and having faith I'll end up somewhere better than that. And subconsciously and unconsciously, I've done that in my career. I've had setups to something other, and other perceive them and judge them as setbacks. I had setups to get to somewhere bigger, better, etc. I'm plateauing and growing because I am at my highest frequency. And if anything sets me off from that, it's only minutes and moments, not years, months, weeks, days, etc. So just pounding through here. Training today, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. Go ahead, email me, david@dmelcher.com. You can join. It's free trainings, free exercises, free guides. My books are free, training's free. You just got to email me, david@dmelcher.com, or text me, 949-298-2905, right below. If you miss training, because it's Friday, I get it. It's Friday. All you have to do is go to Spotify. It's featured there. There's a playlist of all my trainings. You can go to Entrepreneur. The playbook is featured there. All the different platforms, it's available to you. But go ahead and watch and learn from those. They're terrific. I do say so myself. We take Q&A there too. So if you want to participate and get some live coaching, come on there. What do you feel grateful for today? Well, first, my health. Second, my family. And third, my TV show. Yeah, my health, my family. I'm so grateful that 2-minute drill. We're going to be filming it next week. We got all kinds of incredible pitches and judges and companies involved, and it's going to be on Bloomberg and Amazon and Reach TV, all these different places that you'll be able to see it. I'm most excited to see that audience and be able to inspire them on the most important part of getting started, the pitch, stimulating interest. And we'll get to learn all these lessons. Very, very excited. How to face your fears. I practice ending them. I don't face them. I practice ending them. I don't resist them. I learn from them. So pain, Pain to me is an indicator. It's a turn signal telling me to go in a better direction to make my situation better. Suffering is the process to find the light, the love, and the lessons in the pain. And so I don't have negative energy towards pain or suffering. I actually am positive about it. I don't want it, but I know that I'm doing the right things when I have it. Most people don't see that you're doing the right things when you have pain. You're doing the right things when you have suffering. It's what you react to, right? It's not the action, it's the reaction. It's how you react to your pain, how you react to the suffering. For me, it's a process of finding light, love, and lessons, expanding, accelerating, growing, using Einstein's rule of 72, doubling and compounding, but increasing the percentage that I want of increase, which shortens the length of time. So if you have 1% growth with 72, with the rule of 72, it'll take you 72 segments, years, months, weeks, days, hours, minutes, whatever it is, but it'll take you 72 segments. If you want 10% growth, it'll take you 7.2 segments if it's doubles and doubles and double with consistent, persistent behavior. Remember, consistent behavior becomes a dependent variable mathematically of doubling. And so if you stay consistent, you'll know exactly the period of time to double, and then that shortens by the rule of 72. Math is so important. Oh my goodness. Josh is here. The year. This is the entrepreneur of the year. This guy, the energy is about to explode. Joshy York. There he is.
What's up, David? How are you, bud?
So you've been up for what, 7, 8 hours?
Up this morning, 3:44 a.m., baby, every day.
One of my favorite things when I met you, you're one of the most persistent, consistent, kind, enjoyable people that I know. But if you don't know you, you know, that consistent, persistent behavior, you know, you got to question at first. But my favorite line when you met me the first time, and I knew I loved you the minute I met you, you were just powerful of energy. You said, "Oh yeah," he goes, you said, "I'm a sniper's dream boy. If somebody wants to kill me, they just got to sit outside of my house at 3:45 and I'll be there every morning."
Every morning, baby. Every morning. Well, I appreciate those kind words, David, and the feeling's mutual, man. You're just a great individual. The content you put out and the value you give to everybody is just really fantastic, and I know a lot of people feel the same way.
Well, I appreciate that. And I'd love for you to share, you know, you are my poster child of belief and faith and loving yourself. And I don't mean that in an arrogant way. You're an extremely humble person. But I would love for you just to share your story, how you built, you have one of the fastest growing franchises in the world. Even during COVID, you continue to grow. You're someone that angles to what he wants and ends up somewhere better. But you made a huge investment in yourself. People called it a sacrifice. I saw it as an so if you could kind of start and say, I came up with this idea, and you're someone, by the way, I talked about my favorite line of the day is, hey, that's a great idea. Too bad you have it. You're someone that I give my good ideas to because you'll definitely make it happen. But start with the idea and then talk about investing in yourself and how you made it happen.
Sure, absolutely. So, you know, look, the number one most important thing is taking action. And as this handsome man likes to say, Goya, get off your ass. Because you know what? Someone else is going to do it if you don't do it. And that's going to be a guy like me or David. Now, you know, for me, I've always been in the fitness business, always. But the problem was doctors and trainers are exactly the same. A doctor without patients is unemployed, and a trainer without clients is unemployed. And I used to always say to myself, how do I scale this? Because I don't want to be a trainer my whole life, right? I want to be able to work on my business, not in my business. And that's the key. And people need to understand that. But this takes time. It takes patience. Nothing happens overnight. That's number one. So, you know, I took a job. I went to school. And, you know, here I am. I'm in this class with this professor. And I'll never forget the day when he said, you know, you need to listen to me, Josh, because I'm going to help you become successful. And the whole time I kept thinking to myself, how much money does this professor have in his bank account? So one day in class, I actually asked him if he would share his bank statements, and the whole class laughed, but I was actually being very serious. And, you know, the day I left that class, I literally saw the professor drive away in a vehicle with rope tied around his doors. I'm not even joking. And I said, this system is just so screwed up. Unless you're going to like a top Ivy League school, you know, high profile school, the people that are teaching these classes have no experience what they're doing. That's like me telling you how to get a head of hair, right? I'm bald and beautiful, but at the end of the day, it's just not going to happen.
Grass does not grow on a busy street, Josh. Grass does not grow on a busy street.
It does not. It does not. So, you know, I said, you know what? I love fitness. That's where I'm passionate about. And you have to love what you do. You got to be passionate about it. Like, you have to be obsessed. And I'm extremely obsessed with what I do. And I said, let me go back into fitness. One of my clients came in late one day and said, Josh, I wish you can come to my house. I just don't have any equipment. And I literally went back and sat in my car after that session for like an hour. And I was just thinking to myself, like, this is like one of those ideas where it's like, why didn't I think of this? Like, this is so simple and easy. I'm going to be the first to create this category. And today we are the largest personal training franchise in the world. You know, what we've done in the matter of franchising in 5.5 years, no one's ever done. We're in 3 countries right now. We service over 700 cities. We're about to enter into our next country. So it's very exciting. And honestly, look, there's always opportunity. The problem is too many people are just stuck with being scared. What is the worst thing that can happen? You have to take risks and you have to believe in yourself. Most people don't believe in themselves. And that's why I constantly talk about seeking discomfort and doing things that you just don't want to do. Because when you do that, the challenges you'll have on a daily basis with business will be like nothing. And people should be looking at COVID right now because, you know, I don't want to sound insensitive to it, but yes, it's been very uncomfortable. It's been challenging. But for that person who's in business, next time that person walks in Monday morning and says, I quit, and doesn't give 2 weeks, do you think it's really going to be that bad compared to what was going on here? Not even close, but you have to look at it as an opportunity. And at the end of the day, when you do the Goya, which I love, right? When you follow that, that's how you're going to win.
And part of Goya is investing in yourself. How did you, so you got this great idea, you have a great attitude and perception, but how did you fund it? You know, you have such a huge company, Gym Guys, by the way, it's GYMGUYZ, great franchise. The fish is beautiful from the head back all the way to the tail, as I like to say in a franchise. And no pun intended with that head again. I'm sorry. But how'd you fund this, Josh? Because this is a big idea. You've executed on it, but you needed money, and it sounds like you didn't have very much.
So I didn't have any money actually, and you know, I used to train this very successful billionaire, and I'll never forget when he told me this. You know, he was asking me if I know what, you know, it takes for someone to be successful. And I said, well, you got to be driven. You got to, you know, you got to have passion. And, you know, I started, you know, the normals, jotting, you know, just kind of shooting them off. And he said, no. He's like, the person who can endure the most pain for the longest period of time will be the most successful. I started this with 15 grand. My buddy told me that he can get me a job caddying. So I don't like golf. Okay. I can't stand golf. I have no patience for it. I'd rather watch paint dry. I'm a hockey player, but I learned how to play golf. And, you know, this guy taught me what I had to do. And I started going out with these guys every week, and I do it twice a day. So it was called a loop. A loop was 18 holes. I go out twice, and these guys would literally pay me $250 every loop, which is a lot of money. And I would just save up all that money. And literally I spent every last penny except literally 2 grand just to have enough expenses for 1 month. And I said I had to make the business work. Now, growing and scaling it, yes, it was very challenging. I had to be super creative. And honestly, we haven't really raised any growth capital at all. And now I'm actually getting to the point where I'm thinking about maybe taking some chips off the table to do that, to really explode. But it's been a very, very painful period. And that's why I always talk about Shoe Dog, because it's my favorite book, because people like to say bootstrapping. I say shoe dogging it, because at the end of the day, you just got to go all in, believe in yourself, and that's it. And if you ever question yourself, you should just get a mirror and just stare at it every day and look at it, because that's the only person you have to be up against is yourself.
And when you self-capitalized too, you were saving money, you were living in your car, you weren't spending anything to get to that $15,000 so you could start your dream. You weren't spending your time asking people for money. You were around all those rich people. Never, when you first told me that story, I thought, oh, smart kid. He got a job at the country club and hit up some rich dude to fund him. But no, it was yours, and you slept you could have easily done it, right? Guys giving $250 around, they could have easily thrown you 15 grand for 10, 20% of your company as an angel investor. But no, yep. You slept in your car. You ate peanut butter and jelly. You did everything that you had to do. And that's what it takes to be where it's at. And, you know, now the Shoe Dog thing's really impressive too. I got to cover this. So you understand marketing like I do, yep. Right? You know where to invest your time and your money to get the success you want. And I know people that will spend, let's just say $1,000 a month, and they're buying ads on one piece of content that they do, and they wonder why no Phil Knight's calling them back, no Dave Meltzer's calling them back, no Gary V's calling them back, no Ed Milet's are calling them back. You do what I do. You say to yourself, all right, if I'm gonna spend $1,000 to get someone like Phil Knight, Dave Meltzer, Gary V, etc., is one Josh York video and $30 a day on Facebook ads gonna get his attention? Does that make me credible? No. Tell people what you did with $1,000 budget to get not just Phil Knight, not just Dave Meltzer, Gary V, Ed Milet, but I think 15 people that are the biggest leaders in our space. How did you do it?
So I like to ship people tires. And
what kind of tires?
So they're 18-wheeler tires. So not normal car tires, 18-wheeler truck tires. They're tremendous tires. It's very expensive to do. The amount of work that goes into it, most people will never do it. So even the fact that I'm telling you this right now, and it's really sad, and I hope you don't listen to me, and I'm just going to tell it how it is, 99.999% of you people are not going to do this. And that's a shame, and you should.
Let me, on that point, hold the thought, because we were on the truck tires. I give out my personal cell phone. I'll do it again, 858-688-3. I text it back. 99.9% of the people want help, but won't even call and call me and say, hey, can I talk to you? They're too afraid. Go ahead.
And let me tell you something, that happens all the time. The problem is people just don't like to take action, and people make excuses, and excuses are going to get you absolutely nowhere. So
how does a truck tire get you somewhere?
So and I just want to be clear about this. So when I tell you I ship a truck tire, sorry, I had to plug my phone, it was dying. So yeah, no problem. When I ship a truck tire, so first of all, I'm a very kind of anal type of guy, and I like things my way. I'm a very OCD. And, now shipping this tire, first of all, I had a message on the tire. And the tire was, my drive and intensity will leave tread marks all over your floor. We need to connect. Okay. Now, the reason a tire works well is because, my business, gym guys, we drive vans. We're driving to, the locations. And I kind of came up with this one morning when I was sitting in my 29-degree ice bath, which I take regularly. So I ship out this tire. Now, when I'm in the store, I won't leave the store until the box is packed, because it has to be the way I want it. Because if I let them do it, they're just going to throw it in there. But, you got to put it in a certain direction. I want the note to be seen as soon as you open the box. You got to stuff it properly. But I would ship out this tire. And for one person, example, Phil Knight, who is just an icon, right? I just got so much respect for that man. Nike stated, if you were lucky, he would get back to you within 6 months to a year. But due to the amount of packages he gets, he's most likely not going to get back to you. I got a response from Phil Knight and his personal assistant in 7 days. Now, if you want to be special, if you want to be remarkable, you got to do things that other people won't do. It's very simple. And that is what it takes to connect with the greatest. But also at the same time, David, you have to actually have done something. You can't just be someone who hasn't done something yet. So if you haven't put your work in and paid your dues yet, then it's not going to work either. But Phil Knight knew I built a very large company. He knows I'm an Inc. 500, 4 times in a row company. He knew these things. So you have to have credibility behind you. So some of these people who are trying to do some of these things, you got to have patience and put the work in. And over time, you'll be able to, obviously, with the right structure and the right thought process and thinking like there's no box, you'll be able to execute on these ideas.
Yeah, you're amazing, man. And you have you're the host of Fuel Your Drive, which I'll come on again soon. I'd love to talk to you there. Best-selling book now, Fuel, What It Takes to Survive as an Entrepreneur. You can hear this story, but you got to read the book, because there's so many more lessons and nuances. The best thing about it is Josh York, Gym Guys with a Z, is an example of finding your frequency and enjoying the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential. He's not worried about what he doesn't have, what was missing in his life, and he definitely didn't care what other people thought. And he went ahead and did everything it took, made tons of mistakes, tons of lessons along the way, tons of dummy tax that he paid. But in the end, He's now on the other side of exponentiality, segmentation, acceleration. He's gone from 100% successful to 200 to 400 and to 800, and he's going to continue on because he does what it takes every day. And if you don't believe me, stand outside his door at 3:45 and wish him a good morning. I'm wishing you a good afternoon, my friend. It's always a pleasure to see you. Let's do more stuff together.
Absolutely, Dave. Thank you for having me on. And, everyone's very blessed to have you and what you do, because you're a great guy, not only a good friend of mine, but you do great things, and I appreciate it. And got a lot of love for you, my friend.
Right on, brother. Keep it going. Thank you.
All right, take care, bud. See you.
Tread on everybody. That's the great Josh York. Check out Gym Guys. You know, if you're in transition and looking for a franchise, it's an inexpensive way to make a lot of money, help a lot of people, have a lot of fun, putting your health first as well as other people's. Founder and CEO of Gym Guys, at Josh York GG, at Josh York GG. Check out Gym Guys, GUYZ. Founded in 2008, and 250 locations, 31 states, and 3 countries, as he now told me. Wow. And 4th one coming. One of the top entrepreneurs. We're so blessed. All right. Let's see who and what we got here. My man, we'll get another guest real quick. It's time for some magic. The Magic Man himself, co-founder and CMO of The Magics. Here we are. Oh. Rasmus.
Hey, David.
How are
Thank
you?
for having. I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Good. You look like a swimmer. I just got to tell you. If someone's gonna ask you had to have been a swimmer yourself, correct?
Honestly, I was a triathlete, so I've been swimming. But my co-founder Nicholas, who was a swimmer, he wouldn't call me a swimmer. There's a big difference from swimming competitively to being a good triathlete swimmer. But I've spent my time in the pool for sure.
Well, your company has utilized one of the top 10 Kickstarter campaigns. It's an extraordinary goggle company called The Magics. And, I love people who follow their passion and understand their business from participating in their business as you have. But one of the key things why I wanted to have you on is there's so many people that have Kickstarter campaigns. I was hoping that you could shed some light for us on why you thought your campaign was so successful beyond the great product that you have.
It's a good question, and I think some of the common denominators for successful campaigns is preparation and effort front-loaded to the campaign. There's some people are really lucky to hit the golden hour and just launch something and be super successful with it. But I don't think that you can count or should count on that. Some of the things that we tried to tap into was creating that initial excitement and engagement around the Kickstarter campaign. We launched the campaign back in Denmark. I'm from Denmark, Copenhagen in Denmark. So we launched it there and utilized our network to create a small party or launch campaign around the Kickstarter. So when it hit the ground running, we had some traction within the first 12, 24 hours. And then you also need to tap into what's going on, who are the type of customers that actually get on and buy the product during Kickstarter. We had a lot of thesis about who would buy the product initially, but could see right away that the addressable market or the type of swimmer that went in and backed it was much more diverse than what we expected. We thought that it would be much more like heavy swimmers, people that swim 3 to 5 times a week, but we saw that it was like my mom, who swims once a week with her friend for leisure, right? She hated her goggles and she wanted something that didn't give her raccoon eyes. So she went, of course my mom did, but people like my mom did. So we had to adjust some of the campaign while it was live. You do some marketing to attract people to your Kickstarter page. And you really need to be adaptable, as in every online digital marketing. Who is the customer? And yeah.
And you also, beyond adaptable, you were abundant in the nature. As you saw that it had mass appeal, you realized there were some healthcare issues that were involved, and that not everybody could afford goggles, and that we could, literally make a major social impact. And so for every $15 donated, you guys actually donate goggles for healthcare
Yeah,
as well.
that was an initiative when COVID hit. We moved the business to the US pretty quickly after our Kickstarter campaign, and as many others, we got hit by COVID when all pools closed down. And I read a bit of coincidence, read an article from Denmark where some healthcare workers started using goggles because they didn't have any PPE. And first I was like, that sounds crazy, but was also reflecting that if you don't have any alternatives, it might be better than nothing. So we started up that initiative in March and reached out to some thousand customers around New York City area and said, hey, if you know any EMTs, frontline workers, we'd love to give them a pair, test it out if it actually helps them. Did that in a few days and got good results. And they said, hey, we'd really like to do that. And then we started up that campaign where we said, as a startup, we don't really afford to deplete our stock and just give the product for free. So if someone can help us donate a portion of the cost, we can ship the product to healthcare workers. So we ended up, I think, shipping 600 or 700 goggles during those weeks where everything exploded around New York City. Yeah, so that was quite interesting.
Yeah, no, very amazing. And then the last thing I wanted
Thank
to
you.
talk about is one of the capabilities that I've utilized in the last 2 decades in my career in sports with Lee Steinberg and Sports One Marketing is utilizing the bug light approach by finding, world champion Ironmen and Olympic gold medalists to endorse or soft endorsements. And they've changed over the years because the communities are now identified to the athlete. So you don't have to be a Muhammad Ali or a Michael Jordan or a LeBron James, because I promise you that if, look, it'd be great to have LeBron James, but, Jan may be just as powerful to have a 3-time world champion Ironman and gold medalist endorsing what you do, other than, the world famous basketball player. I really understand the frequency. How much power does picking the right ambassador, endorser, to your product mean? And have you seen the exponential growth because of that endorsement?
Answer to the last question, yes. Jan has been a tremendous asset to get on for our business. He actually got in as an investor, so he's on the cap table, and it's kind of in for the long run. That was important for us and for him actually. But that's for us just a stronger sentiment. I think one of our learnings is that everything at the right time. So it wasn't a great fit for us or for Jan to start working together day one after the Kickstarter campaign. You kind of had to find that equilibrium where we could really harvest the reach that he has, even though he's not a LeBron James. He's really big in triathlon. So what I think it's figuring out where's my business, what type of athlete, what type of person, what type of influencer should I work with at this stage. To be honest, for the first 1.5 years of our business, we didn't work with like big superstars or anything. We worked with local heroes in a community pool in Boulder, Colorado, where there's a big triathlon community, but it was not going out and signing or working with bigger athletes. We feel that we are at a level where it makes sense to work with Jan. Maybe at some point it makes sense to work with LeBron James if he quits what he's doing now and jumps into swimming, or just casually do the swimming once in a while. So I think it's actually that balance you need to ask yourself first. What's the right type or right level of influencers that I should work with at this stage of my business? And yeah.
I think that's probably the most powerful point and advice that you can take, Rasmus, and people that are listening, is I fight so many people in building their personal brands, their product, their solution brands, and they don't understand timing, influence, and frequency equilibrium. And so, you take someone that has no name and they think, oh my God, I get on Dave Meltzer's podcast, I'm going to sell 1 million books. You have to, there's a timing to that. And in fact, there's several shows that I've turned down that are world renowned because I want to be able, because they don't let you come on more than once. I want to make sure that when I go on the other side as a guest that I get, and as an endorser that I get as much as I can. So I think that's a really valuable lesson for everyone, the equilibrium of being humble enough to know where we're at and what effect we're going to get from whether it's an endorsement, a brand, a marketing dollar that we put into something. A lot of times people think that there's a shortcut that, you know, just throw up LeBron's face with my product, millions of them will sell. Not necessarily if it doesn't have the right timing, frequency, and build up to it. So, you know, I really appreciate everything. Now they can find you at the magic5_com. Is that right? Where can they best buy the goggles and find you?
So if you want goggles that fit your face, that's custom produced, go to themagic5.com, buy the goggle, and then you download our app afterwards, scan your face, and we custom produce the product out of Charlotte, North Carolina, and ship it right home to you. So it's easy. You could do it from your phone on your couch at home. Very, very easy and simple.
It's an amazing company. I feel like Ron Burgundy. I'm like reading off your call thing, and they have a typo, and it's like at the magic5_com. I'm like, okay, Einstein. It's at the magic5.com. At the magic5, you can find Rasmus, the company. Incredible company, incredible entrepreneur. Thank you for that extremely valuable lesson on equilibrium. I think everyone has a great takeaway for the day. Come back and join me, and if you need anything, give me a call. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thanks, Rasmus. Take care.
Thanks. Hey.
All right. What great lessons today, man. Yes, I'm Ron Burgundy. F you, San Diego. No, I'm just kidding. I'm from San Diego. I love that movie, by the way. All right. Focus, Einstein. There we go. Themagic5.com. Thank you, Team David Meltzer, for the typos to make me look as dumb as I am. And that's not very hard. Anyway, speaking of dumb, I'm going to be training people about my dummy tax on procrastination, all the ins and outs of procrastination, what it does, how to stop it, what to do with it. And it's coming up at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. We've pinned below david@dmelcher.com and 949-298-2905. Yes, it's pinned below so you can get the exercises for free, the guides for free, the books for free. I'll sign a book, send it to you, pay for shipping. There's no tricks or trade. I just want to empower you to be happy, to make more money, help more people, and have more fun. Bringing on these great guests to help you. I'm available for you. If it's Friday and you're like me, you're like, I'm not sitting in some training on a Friday. You know, I'm going swimming with my new goggles. I get it, but you will have time. Everybody has some sort of limitation. You're in a closet somewhere. Make sure you watch the replay then. It's featured on Spotify, featured on Entrepreneur. The playbook is the name. You can see all the trainings. You can see billionaires, millionaires, entrepreneurs. You can see athletes, Hall of Famers, celebrities, entertainers, all there. But most importantly, the trainings, #1 downloaded podcast I have. The playbook is there. Spotify, featured, Entrepreneur, all platforms. 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern training. If you miss it, the replays are available. I'm going to take one more question, and then we're going to get ready for training at 11 a.m. Pacific. Which book to read for a 16-year-old business person? Think and Grow Rich from Napoleon Hill. Study it. Study it. Pay attention to it. Give intention to it for the coincidences you want in your life. Think and Grow Rich. Every time you read it, I promise you, you will double your capacity to make more money, help more people, and have more fun. You will have the perspective of pain and suffering to find the light, the love, and the lessons. You will understand acceleration, growth, compound interest, Einstein's rule of 72. All of those great things you can find right there in Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Great book, no whether you're 16, 26, 36, 46, 56, or 66. I will be reading it at 56 and 66. And I promise you, great, great book. I'm sure. Give a thumbs up if you trust that. All right, everyone. That's it for today. Until training at 11, replays, books, guides, exercises, david@dmelcher.com. Reach out. It's free, so don't worry. Please reach out. We want to build this community and empower others to be happy. Most importantly, everyone, be kind to your future self and do good.